So I had some huge misconceptions around what self-love is when I was still sort of striving for that self-acceptance and clarity within myself and deeper connection and feeling better, feeling good about myself. And I've noticed that these are very common among my clients and those who attend my courses as well. So what I noticed with myself is, first of all, I believe that when I loved myself, I would always sort of feel blissful and zen. And there would be this absence of difficult emotions and challenges and challenging feelings. And that is not the case at all. But what has changed is that I have so much self compassion and inner safety that I can actually contain whatever arises. Um, whether in my inner being or my outer reality, which are kind of the same thing, I can just contain it and I can be with it and it can flow through. And the swifter it does, the less I resist it. And so I don't have that kind of judgment anymore that I should be feeling a certain way. There are feelings, there are expressions of life, and it's all part of the same love, same existence. And what I've learned is that the less I judge things as good and bad, or right or wrong, um, I can be with what is. And I'm not saying I prefer wars or human trafficking or anything like that, but mm, for me to feel in peace and loving within my own being and being in sync with this life isn't conditioned by any preferences of my mind how things should be. And my experience and my thinking is that the love I experience and allow within my own being without condition is the love, unconditional love that I can also bring to this world. Because I don't think this world needs my judgments on top of all the judgments and all the challenges that we experience as human beings. So that's my take on that. And another misconception I had was that I should somehow become perfect and I should somehow have the correct insights, whether psychological or spiritual, and then I would sort of reach a state of self-love and deservingness. But what I found is that I'm always deserving. I'm always 100% worthy because that's who I am. I am love. I am light. And I also get to be this imperfect human being that is allowed to learn and make mistakes and expand in awareness. And that is actually the process of love. And I also realized that self love doesn't necessarily come as a result of certain action or doing all the things for my well being that um, maybe some mainstream wellness scene suggests, but rather learning to trust myself and hear my own inner being and what is needed in this moment, suggested by my intuition. So these are some of the things that I came to terms with. I had these misconceptions that self love would mean that I always feel blissful and I'm always sort of zen, or that I become somehow perfect when I get the right spiritual insight and when I reach a certain state. And what has happened is that I've sort of just allowed the natural state and realized that whatever I'm experiencing in any given moment, whether it's really challenging or really joyous and light and whatever, it's perfect. And I can just contain that. I can allow that within my own being. And there isn't some sort of state that I hit when I understand the right things. It's here if I just allow myself to experience it. And a very direct way to that is taking care of myself very kindly and nourishing my inner safety and connection with myself and sort of just taking sweet good care of myself. And you'll probably hear me say that a lot, but it's such key, practical key to how we get into this sort of living um, experience of who we truly are and what love is, what self love actually is, instead of these sort of mental concepts and maybe often like misconceptions around what self love should be or should look like.